This review will equip you how you can disregard the behaviors that are hindering your creativity and unleash the brilliance within you. Figures like Picasso, Galileo, Beethoven, and Curie stand as undeniable geniuses, needing no external validation or justification for their prowess. However, the roster of geniuses isn't limited to the widely recognized names. In reality, every individual is inherently a genius, born into the world as a distinct and unique entity. Yet, as life progresses within the framework of educational systems, professional pursuits, societal expectations, and familial influences, we often cease to question our true selves and our genuine desires. Instead, we find ourselves traversing a predetermined path that progressively narrows with the passage of time. The opportunity to liberate oneself is ever present. In the pages of Awaken Your Genius, discover the art of delicately discarding obsolete aspects of your identity, welcoming the birth of a revitalized self, and rewriting the narrative that defines your life. We're all inherently geniuses. The key is rediscovering how to tap into that innate brilliance. Gordon Mackenzie, an artist at Hallmark Cards, observed a fascinating phenomenon during his visits to schools. In a first-grade classroom, nearly every child enthusiastically identified as an artist, but by third grade, only a third maintained that assertion, dwindling to just 1 or 2 by sixth grade. What causes this decline in creativity? Each person is a unique genius, shaped by specific circumstances, lineage, and environmental influences. However, as we progress through life, navigating structured education and succumbing to the expectations of family, friends, and society, we often lose touch with our distinctiveness. Instead, we accumulate layers that mask our authenticity. The challenge is to reclaim our hidden genius, a task that is never too late to undertake. To awaken your genius, an internal journey is necessary. A journey of reflection, shedding the baggage of learned thinking and expectations, and embarking on a path toward self-discovery. This blink introduces 5 essential steps in this process. The first step, labeled the death, involves letting go of elements that no longer serve you. While challenging, especially given our attachment to identity, clearing space for something new requires shedding the old. This death sets the stage for the second step, the birth of the new you. Subsequent steps explore kindling creativity during your inner journey, adapting to the external world, and culminating in the transformative fifth step. Embracing the concept of the death in the journey to awaken your genius involves shedding elements that no longer align with your true self. Take, for example, the story of Gillian Lynne, renowned choreographer of Cats and the Phantom of the Opera. Despite her later success, Lynne, in her youth, was considered a problem child and a poor student. Her pivotal moment came when a doctor, observing her affinity for dancing to music, prescribed immediate enrollment in dance classes. Similarly, many of us find ourselves ensnared in systems that don't resonate with our true nature. Traditional educational environments, often centered around memorization and passive absorption, may not nurture our individual genius. To embark on the path of self-discovery and creative awakening, the initial step is to relearn. This, however, necessitates the prior act of unlearning, discarding aspects of our identity that no longer serve us. Consider a scenario where you excelled in biology and dedicated time to volunteering in hospitals. Yet, as you pursued medical school, you realized a diminishing enthusiasm for the practice of medicine. It might be challenging to relinquish the years invested in this pursuit and the identity of being an aspiring doctor. However, it's crucial to understand that your identity is a narrative you tell yourself. It's not the entirety of who you are. You may have roles and possessions, but these do not define your essence. To fully embrace your vastness and reality, resist the urge to narrowly define yourself. Navigate the gray areas of uncertainty, entertain contradictory thoughts, and reject the confines of tribal mentalities that compel alignment with a particular group. Recognize the value of your attention as a precious commodity. Avoid squandering it on every alert, the constant demands of a 24-hour news cycle, or the allure of social media. Having cleared this internal space, the next step is to sit still and patiently await your rebirth into a truer version of yourself. In the phase of the birth, during the process of reawakening your genius, the focus shifts to identifying your personal building blocks and reconstructing yourself in novel ways. An illustrative example is the genesis of YouTube on Valentine's Day in 2005, when 3 engineers attempted to create a platform for singles to share video introductions, an idea that initially faltered but eventually evolved into the globally recognized platform it is today. Consider your own building blocks, your skills and talents. Some might be so innate that you overlook them as talents, or they may have been perceived as weird or different but hold the potential to be your superpowers. Break free from limiting yourself to a single facet. You can be an athlete who writes, a musician who practices law, or a chef who pursues mountain climbing and marathon running. Uncover and amalgamate the diverse aspects that reside within you. As you navigate this transformative journey, delve into fundamental questions. What is your mission? What is your purpose in life? Maintain an energy journal to discern activities that invigorate you versus those that deplete your energy. Identify what is exhilarating and what feels burdensome. Explore various possibilities by investigating alternative careers and lifestyles. Connect with individuals engaged in areas that pique your interest, immersing yourself in their experiences. Throughout this exploration, release the need for external validation. Consider examples like Jason Alexander, nominated 8 times for an Emmy as George Costanza on Seinfeld without winning, or Isaac Asimov, who didn't make the New York Times bestseller list until his 262nd book. Imagine if either had let the absence of accolades dictate their sense of talent, halting their creative output. External validation places your agenda in the hands of others. Aspects such as beauty, compassion, and creativity resist true measurement, and no award or medal can fully capture their richness and depth.
If you find value in our content, we'd appreciate your support through likes, shares, and subscriptions. Your comments are not only our guiding star but also the foundation of our progress. Thank you. Now, let's dive back into the review.
In the phase of the inner journey, aimed at unlocking the playful, creative, and wise individual within, there are several strategies to foster original thinking and unleash creativity. 1. Avoid over-Googling. Resist the temptation to inundate your mind with others' thoughts and opinions. Instead, keep a Word document open on your computer to record your ideas as they emerge. Keep these thoughts private and authentic. Trust your gut instincts and connect with a diverse group of thinkers for brainstorming. 2. Take long walks. Engage in long walks, especially during the contemplative period between having a good idea and actively working on it. A Stanford study showed that walking before a creativity test led to higher scores compared to those who remained seated. 3. Ignore the inner critic. Disregard the inner critic that points out inconsistencies and lack of reason in your ideas. During the creative process, it's essential to let your ideas flow freely without being hindered by premature judgments. 4. Embrace play. Cultivate a sense of play, regardless of age. While checklists are crucial in certain tasks, creating something new often requires following your interests. Take inspiration from figures like Charles Darwin, who explored geology for fun. The cast of The Office even wrote an episode for another show when faced with a creative block. 5. Reimagine your environment. Consider the space where you do your thinking. Instead of a conventional office, envision an idea lab or a collaboration cave. For example, at Brasilata, there are no employees. Everyone is considered an inventor. 6. Embrace not knowing. Avoid the trap of over-researching or over-preparing. Embrace a state of not knowing, which can lead to genuinely new and creative ideas. Ignore critics who may dismiss your ideas. Historical figures like Galileo, Stephen King, and Walt Whitman faced similar resistance and criticism. Remember the wisdom of Lao Tzu: care about other people's approval, and you become their prisoner. Embracing your unique creative journey involves staying true to your instincts and ideas, even in the face of skepticism or criticism. In the context of engaging meaningfully with the external world, it is crucial to be mindful consumers of information in the information age. Many of us unquestioningly accept what we perceive as facts, such as the belief that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, without delving into the origins of such ideas, like the fact that it was proposed by the cereal maker Kellogg. Skepticism becomes paramount in an era where misinformation can spread rapidly without adequate fact-checking. Questioning assumptions not only helps us discern the truth but also exposes us to diverse ideas and perspectives that algorithms might otherwise filter out. While seeking guidance from leaders and mentors is common, it is essential to approach this with a degree of caution. The image projected by gurus may not necessarily reflect the entirety of their lives or experiences. Taking the example of Henry David Thoreau, often admired for his simple living by Walden Pond, learning that his cabin was only 2 miles from home, or that he received pastries from his mother and had dinners at his friend Ralph Waldo Emerson's house, provides a more nuanced perspective on his celebrated lifestyle. It's important to recognize that the paths of influencers, writers, musicians, and scientists are rarely fully transparent. Comparing one's journey to someone else's, whether it's an Instagram influencer or a renowned figure like Steve Jobs, may not yield accurate insights. Heroes are often seen as survivors, and not every person who emulates a particular path achieves the same success. For instance, Steve Jobs' success may have been influenced by various factors unrelated to his college experience, making it imprudent to drop out of college simply because he did. In navigating the wealth of information and advice available, it is advisable to seek out diverse voices and apply their suggestions judiciously to one's own context. Remembering that advice is rooted in personal experiences, and what worked for someone else may not necessarily work for you, allows for a more discerning and individualized approach to engaging with the world. In the pursuit of personal transformation, a key step involves releasing your attachment to the future you envision. This concept is encapsulated in the question, "Will it help?" A simple yet powerful inquiry that prompts reflection on the usefulness of dwelling on uncertain future scenarios. Obsessing over unattained college admissions, scrutinizing statistics about plane crashes before a journey, or fixating on expert opinions about potential pandemics may not contribute positively to your life. Even so-called experts cannot consistently predict the future, and expending time and energy on worrying about what may never transpire is ultimately futile. True transformation requires letting go of rigid expectations for the future. While having a general idea is constructive, attempting to enforce a predetermined life path often proves ineffective due to unforeseeable factors beyond your control. Life seldom unfolds exactly as planned, and in fact, a meticulously planned life may lack the richness of growth and exciting possibilities. Change is the only constant, illustrated vividly by the example of the peppered moths of Britain during the Industrial Revolution. Adaptation to a changing environment flipped the population ratio of light to dark moths. The once favorable light camouflage became a liability in the altered landscape, highlighting the unpredictability of life. Clutching too tightly to a specific version of yourself stifles the potential for future versions to emerge. The pain of leaving the familiar, especially when it's closely tied to your identity, is a natural part of personal evolution. Consider the analogy of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. For the butterfly to emerge, the caterpillar must undergo a profound change. Similarly, to live up to the full potential of your genius life, you must release the old version tied to preconceived notions and wholeheartedly embrace the unique brilliance inherent in you. This may involve navigating discomfort, both within yourself and from others who may resist or resent your transformation. Ultimately, their discomfort is not your burden to bear, as you unfold into the fullness of your authentic self. In essence, you possess inherent genius, a unique brilliance waiting to be recognized. The path to realizing this genius involves a deep examination of your life, values, and choices. By listening closely to your authentic voice, you have the power to undergo a transformative rebirth, emerging as a genuine and meaningful version of yourself. Embracing this journey allows you to interact authentically with the world, unlocking the full potential of your innate genius. Welcome to one of the finest personal development book summary channels on the internet. We're thrilled to have you join our amazing community that values growth and strives for improvement. Your support is instrumental in our channel's progress, and we deeply appreciate your engagement. In return, I commit to delivering consistent and valuable content, enriching you with knowledge and inspiring you to take meaningful action. Thank you for staying tuned and being a part of this journey towards continuous improvement.